These are the top 5 best solo ops boss rushes. Now I'm just playing, but I'm gonna be honest, this genre of Undertale Roblox games are and if you plan on making an Undertale game on Roblox, please do not make a solo ops boss rush. Anyways, let's get into the video.
Oh my god, young man, kill yourself!
At number 5 we got Dusted Solo Ops Reborn. Now, this game is pretty good, it has a decent amount of content, 6 bosses and 13 obtainable characters excluded in game passes. This gameplay is very team-based, so nuking is the most viable strategy in this game. The boss rush goes like this: Dust Sands, Killer Sands, Horror Sands, Dust Spell, Outer Dust, Dust Swap, and then it ends up with high level dust. Obviously, if you want to make the game harder, you could try and challenge it with the secret bosses like Air Dust, but I'm gonna be honest, I ain't dealing with all that. But test name! This game is just a Dusted Solo Ops Remastered clone. Well, the bosses in this game are surprisingly well made. Every single one of them has a cutscene or dialogue, and some of them even change the way you have to play. Now, if you want to actually progress in the game, you need a minimum of 2 people on tier 0. For Dust Tail, you can both spawn in and just nuke the boss, but for Killer, you both spawn in and you nuke the first phase as normal, but on the second phase, you both go to opposite corners of the map. Now for Horror, both of you spawn in as Dust Sands and just keep him stunned. Now Dust Spell is a little bit tricky. To avoid him getting enraged, you'll need 2 Horror Sands to hit him with Axe mode, and for Alta Dust you'll need Sands encounter or higher, but that's the main way you'll get XP in this game. The reason this game is so low is because none of the attacks are smooth and everything's just so gigantic. Not to mention, Dustfall is way harder than it needs to be, and the grind is really long in this game, but other than that, it's a pretty solid solo ops game. At number 4 we have Solo Ops Boss Rush Extended. Now I'm gonna be honest, when I was first making this video, I thought I was gonna put this game at number 1, but after playing the game again, I can notice its flaws a lot more. Solo Ops Boss Rush Extended is a ton of content. It has 11 bosses, and I'm pretty sure it has 5 other secret bosses that you can fight. Not to mention the overwhelming 25 obtainable characters that you can play as. Now there's 2 ways that you can beat this game. One of them is the easy method, and the other one is the normal method. Now to beat the game in about 25 minutes or so, what you want to do is play Classic Sands until you can unlock Dust Sands, grind Nightmare to Killer until you can get tier 1, use Distrust to solo up to Murder Time Trio. Now instead of saving up for tier 2, what you want to do is just save up for 2028 coins and buy the Bad Outer Dust game pass. Now, you've successfully beaten the game. I kid you not, Bad Outer Dust can solo the entire boss rush, even Last Breath. Now the normal way you progress is by grinding the tiers up until you're tier 5. Once you're tier 5, the best character you can get is Dust, so try and main him until you can participate in an event for an event character. Speaking of the events, the newest one sucks. Like seriously, 666 boss kills. And don't even get me started on the attainment method for Pesky. The main problem with this game is that all the bosses are complete cakewalks apart from Last Breath. Another thing that really sucks with this game is that there's literally more Game Pass characters than tiers 1 to 3 combined. Like, come on, are you guys trying to make people think your game's a quick cash grab? Anyways, all you pretty much have to do is grind to tier 1 and you'll have beaten the game, but after that, I guess you can grind for skins, but that's pretty much it.
I mean, it's alright, like, overrated as f.
At number 3, we've got Undertale Solo Ops: A Different Boss Rush. Now this game has loads of potential. This is one of the few solo ops games which doesn't do Nightmare dirty, and it's also one of the few solo ops games which doesn't take an eternity to grind for a single tier. Now what you want to do is play Swap Sands and solo Horror until you reach tier 1, then use Alter and solo till Murder Time Trio, now tier up to tier 3 and use Killer or Dust to defeat Murder Time Trio. Once they're beaten, switch back to Alter and defeat Nightmare. I don't really care if this game's a demo, this game has the most fun bosses out of all the games on this tier list. For this game to reach number 1 on this list, all they really have to do is just add a few more content. And hopefully they add a few more skips, because it's kind of a pain in the ass to grind all the way to Murder Time Trio for an attempt to unlock phase 2. I don't really have much criticism for the game other than the fact that it's pretty short, but other than that it's a pretty solid boss rush. It's simple, easy for tier 0s, and they have some cool ideas. Right now there's only one secret way of being Insanity Sands, but it's pretty easy to find them, so good luck finding them. At number 2 we have Sans Funny Boss Rush. Now, this game is pretty solid, but these bosses are fucking hard. It's pretty much impossible to beat Nightmare with tier 0 characters, not to mention it's already hard enough trying to beat Nightmare with tier 2s and below. Now, to be fair, it's okay if a game is hard since Solo Ops is a team-based game, but if you play this game with a full server of tier 0s, then you are going to want to because all you will be doing is grinding collapse dust until you reach tier 3. Now I don't care if you comment that I have a skill issue, but I tried with pretty skilled players and we couldn't do shit until one of us got the revert dust game pass. There's 6 bosses, but don't get the wrong idea that there's little content, since every single one of these bosses either has a secret phase or form, or the boss will have multiple phases. The boss rush in this game is a lot different than the others. It starts off with Collapse Dust and Nightmare, who sends out Killer and Horror. Once they fail, Dust intervenes, then they form the Murder Time Trio and lose again, and finally After Dust intervenes, which is pretty refreshing than the standard Nightmare boss rush thing from Soul Ops 1. And overall, the game's pretty good. For honorable mention, we have Totally Balanced Soul Ops Boss Rush. Man, this game sucks. This game is bruh. This game is the most vile, disgusting piece of game ever made. How the is this the Soul Ops Boss Rush with the most players out of all the games on the list? Man, this game. Anyone who likes this game should uninstall Roblox right now. At number 1 we have Totally Balanced Soul Ops Boss Rush. Now this game is what we're looking for. Despite the fact that this game is new, it's genuinely the best Soul Ops Boss Rush right now, and it's so much better than the old game. The bosses are up to Soul Ops and other Boss Rush's level, not to mention this game has more content than Soul Ops and other Boss Rush. The bosses are actually quite a challenge, I won't lie. It took us a few attempts to get past Murder Time Trio. Like Soul Ops and other Boss Rush, this game also does Nightmare really well, and it's pretty hard to beat this game without nuking, but I still prefer this game over Sans Funny Boss Rush. It's also pretty balanced. One thing we might want to change is the 200 coin limit for Killer, since it's kind of hard for tier 0s to get any progress in this game without Killer Sans. Another thing they should maybe do is probably buff the tier 2 characters, since Ruin's Dust and Fallen Stars are better than all of them. Fallen Stars is the only tier 2 character worth playing. Fallen Stars is the only character worth playing if you want to play as a support character. All the bosses are pretty unique, but if they wanted to reach Sans Funny Boss Rush level, then they'd have to add phases to all the bosses. But other than that, this game is pretty cool, and I'm hoping it doesn't turn into a clutter of the old game. Well, that's the top 5 best Soul Ops Boss Rush games. I hope you enjoyed, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.